Hello, algebra class. Today we are going to continue looking at solving equations. We are looking at variables on both sides. But before we get there, we have a bit of a warm up at the beginning to practice what we've already learned. So in number one, we have to distribute. So we've got 2/5 x plus 2/5 times 10. It's actually going to be 20/5 equals -18. So 2/5 x plus 20 over 5. This is going to be a 4. And if you use your calculator, that can help out, equals -18. Now I'm going to subtract 4 on both sides. So -18 minus 4 is -22. And we can divide both sides by 2/5. Or somebody was showing me on the work that they did with their teacher last year, they multiply both sides by 5, and I kind of like this. So 2x is equal to -110, and then divide both sides by 2. So x is equal to -55. There you go, good job. For the next one, we have to distribute, a -3 times x is -3x minus 18, because -3 times 6. Don't distribute to the 15 though. That one's separate, it's outside of the parentheses. Then we combine like terms, -3x and -5x is -8x. -18 plus 15 is -3 equals 61. Add 3 to both sides. -8x is equal to 64. Divide both sides by -8. 64 divided by -8 is -8. And finally, in number 3, distribute the -6. So I have 2a minus 6a plus 24 is equal to a -4. 2a minus 6a is -4a plus 24 is equal to a -4. Subtract 24. -4a is equal to -28. Divide both sides by -4. A is equal to +7. So those are the kinds of equations that we've been solving so far. What I have for you now, though, are variables on both sides. So some equations have variables on both sides of the equal sign. You want to collect all the variable terms on one side. You want to neaten it up. Collect all the constant terms on the other side and continue to solve the equation. So let's jump right in. For letter A, I am going to take the smallest x. That's just what I do. I take the smallest x, which is a -8, and I'm going to move it. So I'm going to add 8x to both sides of the equal sign. So 7 is equal to 4x plus 8x, which is 12x minus 7. Then I continue to solve as we always have. Add 7 on both sides. So 12x is equal to 14. Divide both sides by 12. This one's going to give you a decimal or a fraction. That's okay. This will be 7/6, which is 1.16 or 1.17. There you go. So that's how we solve. Give us a little bit more space. For the next one, and again, I just moved the smallest x. That's just how I do it. You could technically move any of them. So the smallest x, or the smallest k in this case, is -3. So I'm going to add 3k to both sides. So 9 is equal to 17 plus k. Then I'm going to subtract 17 on both sides. 9 minus 17 is a -8, is equal to k. So all those rules that we were working on before still apply. We just have to make sure we get the x's on the same side first. I'm going to subtract x. 5x minus x is really 5x minus 1x, so it's 4x minus 1 is equal to 15. Add 1 on both sides. So 4x is equal to 16. Divide both sides by 4, so x is equal to 4. In letter D, I am going to move the 9h first, add 9h. So 2h plus 9h is 11h plus 4 is equal to -18. So for letter D, next step is to subtract 4 on both sides. So 11h is equal to -22. Divide both sides by 11. So h is equal to -2. In letter E, I am going to move the 3p first. I'm going to subtract 3p on both sides. So 4p minus 3p is 1p plus 2 is equal to -7. Subtract 2 on both sides. 1p is equal to -9. I can divide by 1 in that last step and say p is equal to a -9. Now, I have a few problems for you to try, these 3. If you have a piece of paper, try them on a piece of paper, pause your video here, and then come back and check your answers. All right, here we go. So what do these look like? And you do number 1. Pop it on my video. I subtracted c from both sides, so 20 equals 3c minus 7. I added 7 on both sides, so 27 equals 3c. Divide by 3, and I get a 9. For letter B, I added 4x first. You could have subtracted the 2x, it would still work. I add 4x first, so 4 plus 6x equals 22. Subtract the 4. 6x equals 18. Divide by 6, and I have 3. For letter C, I added 2y on both sides. 8 equals 5y minus 2. Added 2, 10 equals 5y. Divide by 5. All right, let's try a few more. Now, instead of just getting things on the same side, we have parentheses. So we are going to have to distribute first. So in letter A, I multiply through by 2. So 10x minus 2 is equal to 3x plus 11. I'm going to subtract 3x on both sides. So 7x minus 2 equals 11. Add 2 on both sides. So 7x is equal to 13. Divide by 7, x equals 13 over 7. 4 times 2y gives us 8y plus 4 is equal to 2y minus 26. Then I'm going to subtract 2y on both sides. 6y plus 4 is equal to 26. Subtract 4 on both sides. So 6y is equal to 22. Divide both sides by 6. So y is equal to 22 over 6. If I were to reduce that in my calculator, I get 11 over 3, which is going to be 3.6 repeating. Any of those numbers are fine. So we can get decimals for these. Just keep that in mind. For letter C, I've got 28 minus 7a is equal to 3a minus 12. I'm going to add 7a on both sides. So 28 is equal to 10a minus 12. Add 12 on both sides. So I get 1040 is equal to 10a. Divide both sides by 10. So a is equal to 4. So same idea, but we have to distribute first. Now, in some of these problems, you can have some special situations show up. So let's see what's going on here. First, we have to distribute. So 10x plus 12 is equal to 10x plus 12. Well, now wait a minute, it's the same thing. So if I subtract 10x on both sides, I get 12 equals 12. So if you get the same thing with no variable left, this is infinite solutions. Sometimes you'll see that as all real numbers. Any value that you put in for x will work, so all real numbers. Let's see what happens in letter E. I'm going to combine like terms, -3m and 12m, so 9m minus 4 is equal to 9m plus 5. If I subtract 9m on both sides, I get -4 is equal to 5. Well, these are different. So because the numbers are different, I don't have a variable left, I say no solution. There's no value for m that will make that true at all. So you want to be careful of those two situations, a little bit tricky. All right, I have 4 problems here. Pause your video, give these a try, and then come back and check your answer. Oh, I think we have to go over answers. All right, so solutions to the you-do problems. For letter A, I distributed the 2. I wind up with -5 equals 2, which is no solution. For letter B, I distributed the 5 and the 7. When I work all the way through, I get y equals -3. For letter C, I distribute the 3. So I have 12n minus 6 equals negative 6 plus 12n. At the end, negative 6 equals negative 6. That means all real numbers. And then letter D, I distribute the negative 1. I got 7 equals negative 3, which is no solution. So I have one more type of problem to show you with variables on both sides, and these are proportions. So proportion is 2 equal ratios. Now, these might look familiar to you. Maybe you learn them as cross multiply and divide. So we take 11 times 30, and we set it equal to 6 times x. So 11 times 30 is 330 equals 6x. Divide both sides by 6. I'm going to grab my calculator this morning. And I get 55. For letter B, we have 9 times 12 is equal to 2 times n. 9 times 12 is 108 equals 2m. Divide both sides by 2. M is equal to 54. For letter C, now this is where we start to look like algebra 1. 7x is equal to 3, and then use parentheses around the 2x plus 5. So 7x is equal to 6x plus 15. Subtract 6x. 1x is equal to 15, so x equals 15. For letter D, to cross multiply, we have 11 times c minus 8 is equal to negative 2 times 11 minus 4c. We have to distribute both of these. So we have 11c minus 88 is equal to negative 22 plus 8c. I am going to subtract 8c on both sides. 3c minus 88 is equal to negative 22. If I add 88 on both sides, 3c is equal to 66. Divide both sides by 3. C is equal to 22. All right, I am going to leave you with these 4 problems to try. Pause your video here, give them a try, and then come back and check your answers. All right, so we have a few proportions to solve. In letter A, I cross multiplied and W is equal to 20. In letter B, I cross multiplied and Z is equal to 30. In letter C, I cross multiplied and use parentheses here. Distribute the 1. 1 times 9 is 9x minus 2. Solve like usual, and I have x equals 2. For letter D, I have numbers in the front to distribute. 24z plus 24 equals 20z plus 16. Solve the equation, and z equals negative 2. So try those problems for me. Thanks for being patient with the video.